Triumph TT600. Fingers crossed everything should be there. And I mean, hopefully it works. Has she got power? Get ready to run. Hello world, welcome back to Accelerate and welcome to the Triumph TT600. Now, a few of you know I've got this. Bought it a couple of months ago from a friend of my father's. It wasn't running right, I had a really good deal on it, but yeah, it was ticking over at 7,000 RPM and idle. So done a bit of research and just thought we'd take a punt at it. So I'll show you what it is. So as you can see, it's a little bit naked at the moment because we did strip it down and start checking out what we needed to get. So as you can see, a lot of the fairings are over there. We put some into storage because they're good, but I have had to order a new nose cone, a couple of little bits and pieces. Basically, the bike was stationary and dropped on its side. So we needed to just replace a couple of bits. So as you can see, it looks very naked and very sorry for itself at the moment. So we've got a load of parts to replace. Andrew's in work today. So it's me and my father, Uncle Phil, as everyone knows him.
Or the old man.
Or the old man, yeah, that's the other one. Right, we're gonna change a lot of parts and give it basically a really good service. So the thing that we found out was wrong with it was the throttle cable. It was basically sticking. That was what was holding the throttle open on it. So what we've decided to do as well here is the stator, which is basically like an alternator. It's supposed to have a plug on it. So we bought a new one, which is here with the correct plug. Also on these bikes, it's very common for the rectifier regulator to be faulty on them. It's an old design. A lot of people do upgrade these. So I've been on the owners club. Massive thanks to them. They're so helpful. They recommended me this aftermarket model. So it was a bit scary when it arrived because I don't know what the hell everything is. Obviously mine has only got one plug on it as well. There's the original one. So as you can see, it's just got some wires coming out of it. Now after my research, I found that this is actually quite simple. So as you can see, we got spark plugs, oil, an oil filter, air filter, and a couple of other bits and pieces. So let's just get into it. We'll strip the bike down and show you what's underneath. As you can see, we got the tank off. A couple of these hoses here with push connectors on the tank, which are non-leak, which is great because we were worried about that. So with all these out of the way, we've got to get the airbox out to get access to the throttle cable. Right, so as you can see, the airbox and everything is now off it. We've put these in the throttle bodies just to make sure nothing falls down it, because we're going to blow it all out with the airline because it's quite grubby in here. Obviously, these don't get taken apart much. So that's what a bike looks like. If you go on the other side. Well, it's supposed to be a fully faired bike with nothing on it. The frame is pretty cool though, isn't it? It is nice. Oh, okay. Yeah. The thing we replaced last time is the idle control valve, the air idle control valve vacuum hoses. These are the standard ones, as you can see in here. They've got plasticky and brittle, so something else which is common on these. So I replaced it with these rubber hoses, 8mm. Luckily I had loads here from when I had Master VXR. So replaced all those just as a precautionary, because taking these off, they were snapping. So once again, while you're at it, just replace what you can. So next thing we're going to do is blow off all the dust and everything with the airline and throttle cable on it. As you can see, we've blown everything out, taking the battery out, because that's obviously a really good idea at the beginning. Right, the throttle cable goes down in here, which is really tight. You can't get anything in there. We did struggle last time to get it off, so the man's come up with a plan. I'm going to show you what he's up to now. Yes, there is a blowtorch, and yes, that's a 10mm. Sit rep. Right, we were going to try filming some of this, but it was an absolute pig. As you can see, the throttle cable is in there. We've routed it as it's supposed to be routed. Obviously the fairings are going to hold this in place. Up through the ring where the clutch cable goes, into the throttle itself. And as you can see, it works. What are we doing next?
This rectifier thing, this charging point thing.
There we go, we'll tackle that now. And of course, no video in the garage would be without Bruce. Hey mate, hello buddy. Yeah, you're a good boy, you know. As you can see, we're removing this rectifier regulator. It has a lot of plugs going into it, but we've got two. So it's something we gotta try and figure that out. I'm sure we will. So I can get an attack by a dog in a minute. Staffies are really dangerous. Good boy.
Oh no, lethal he is. licked to death.
So we positioned the rectifier regulator where we think it will sit, and it just clears. It does touch a bottom plastic. Let's hope it doesn't get too hot there. Next step, the hose for the water pump. We need to drain the fluid so we can get at the starter. We need to pop that, drain the fluids. Obviously I got new coolant as well as oil and filter. So yeah, we'll get that off and let it drain. Whoa.
Blue. I wanted this one off, see?
Yeah.
So I could twist it or something, because it's plastic.
Yeah, we've got to be careful. How's the water pump?
I know.
So, yeah.
That's why I want to twist it or something.
Oh, there you go.
There she goes.
You know, you have to drain this just to gain access to one of the bolts to get the static cover off, which is a bit of a stupid thought really by Triumph. As someone did comment, people who build these bikes obviously don't know how to work on them, or obviously don't work on them, so they don't understand. So 1 8mm bolt means you've got to drain the whole system, just take the static cover off. Engineer, right? So next up is the sun plug. We might as well drop it all while we're down here because we got it all to go on. I know when removing this you've got to be careful of the gear, the starter selector-y thing. Yeah, we'll find out now, because obviously there's going to be a bit of resistance trying to pull this off because it is a magneto. One thing I do want to mention with this bike, we're not sure whether to keep it yellow or go red. Now, we want to do it with the Accelerate livery to match the Civic and the MX-5. It's yellow at the moment, as you'll see. We're going to put it down to you guys. What would you prefer, yellow or red? Let us know, and we'll either copy the MX-5 or copy the Civic.
That's loose.
Magnet. So the pin we were referring to, it's got to go in to line everything up. It's not quite lined up on the top. There, that's it. The gears need to line up with them all, so then it'll all rotate. It's maybe tricky to do there. But yeah, that pin has got a locator in the back. Just got to make sure it lines up with all the teeth, which it is. And then when you replace the cover, it'll fit. Now with the starter, you got a clip here for the cable, the wires, and you got your 3 for your main starter part. Remove them. I think this has got silicone in it as well, so something else we got to do. So upon inspection of the original starter, to be honest, it looks really good. They usually burn on the top to show that they're overcharging. Now we know that the cable was broken, the actual plug, so I think it was the rectifier regulator that was overcharging anyway, so probably didn't need to change this, but it's always worth doing while you got the bike apart, because it's always easier while it's stripped. So we've got to clean up the area now where the silicone is, where the plug goes through, and then we can refit the new one and re-silicone it. So the new starter's in. Put silicone around there, just put a tiny little bit of grease now just to help with the gasket. This end's all cleaned up and been located, so next step is we'll try and get that on there straight. Okay, so that's back on. You just got to make sure you line it up perfect because of that pin. If it's not, it won't go on. So always locate the pin in first, don't use it on the starter cover. There was only one bolt that was slightly different with this one. There was one with a washer on, which was right of the wire. So yeah, we'll get this all buttoned up now. Feed it through, and then it's wiring this thing, which is going to be fun. So there we go. Starter and cover back on. Hoses for the water pump and the head back on. So next step, we're going to clean this out here, which is the connector for the starter, which goes from the rectifier regulator all the way through the bike and just plugs into the starter. Because obviously what we're going to do here, one's for power, one's for the 3 for the starter. There's the original one. I'm going to use the old plug here off the original rectifier regulator, choppy chop, join them onto these new plugs. Hopefully, and I mean hopefully, it works, right? So I leaned the bike over a little bit just to get some more oil out of it, and there was quite a bit left from there, to be honest.
Yeah, surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once it holds.
Exactly. So now, air filter.
Next phase.
Next one. It's just a 4 on the top. And what are they, torques? Yeah.
Torque bits, yeah. They'll all be the same size. It'd be like a new bike.
It will. All these new bits going on it. You watch, engines rattling. Ooh, nice. Nice. Oh, it just sits in here then.
Yeah.
So it had a Triumph filter in it, probably from new the way the oil filter looked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if it sits now, shall we? Stops the mesh. Right.
Just a little bit tight on
A bit
the
tight
rubber.
on there.
Oh, there you go.
So I said she was.
Yeah.
There she goes.
That'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Spark plug time.
Oh yeah.
Oof. Yeah. Oh yeah, they've been in a while, haven't they?
Oh,
Bloody hell.
And their money's worth.
Yeah, well. So this is why servicing's always important. Look at the state on that. Don't get me wrong, it run. Probably not very well though. And also the oil filter looks like it's been on for quite some time. At least they use a Marley one, I suppose. But still, a state on that. Servicing's essential. Oh, what a day. The rectifier regulator wiring is now complete. You've got to put an inline fuse in. They do supply one, but it's huge, so it's going to be a bit more difficult to hide. But I already had one. It's only a 30 amp fuse, so that's done. Obviously I had to join those wires there. Yeah, so you've got these ones here. These wires here for the rectifier regulator. Oh, sorry, the stator is what I should be saying. So that should just clip in there. And then you've got the one for the power, which just clips in there. And then the main plug will just connect. So fingers crossed, everything should be there. So we're going to spin a bike around after you've finished tightening everything else, because there's lots of stuff loose on this bike. And we can put some oil in it. She's ready to flash then, right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Everything's on. Oil back in it. That's the rectifier regulator, all wired in nice. New starter, new oil and filter, new air filter, new plugs, coolant. So we're going to try start it. Get ready to run.
Run.
Has she got power? Yes, she has. Right, clutch and start. The fan's kicked in, coolant is good. I think she does need a bit of a tweak on the idle. Holding a bit better now. We got a brake light on the front, but I gotta find out what's going on with the rear. Probably just a dodgy connection, because this one was. There we are, 107 degrees, she's not going any higher. Settled down nice. I'm going to check the voltage to make sure it's charging, make sure the rectifier regulator is actually doing its thing. Positive. There we go. It's doing exactly as it should. I would say this is a result. And also the new fans have just turned up. Good day. So there we go. What a day. Good results, right?
Brilliant.
Always good when things come together. So we're going to leave the video there for now. We got some things to tidy up on the bike first. Got all the plastics here, now all the fairings. Need them all painted. Like I said, you guys choose. Red or yellow? Do we keep it yellow and match the MX-5? Or do we go red and match the Civic? Let us know, because they will be having the Accelerate livery on there. So I think that'll do it. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next one. Boom!